Okay, so now that we've set up our project and created all the base layers, we're ready to start applying materials. And the way you start is simply by going to your asset library and uh, placing either a base material or a smart material into your layer stack. Um, so let's go ahead and do that. I've deleted it, but usually the layer stack will have a paint layer in it by default, which you can leave or delete like I did. So let's go over to, in this case, I have material, just base material selected. And remember, I narrowed my asset library, so I have this little filter here to click on to select how I want to filter my assets. So if you hover over any one of these materials, it will give you a slightly larger view of it. So let's go ahead and pick this one. I'm going to right click and drag it and drop it into my layer. I can also, I'm going to do Control Z. I can also grab it and drop it on my 3D model or on my UV. But in this case, I'm going to drag it and drop it on my layer. So since I have a single material, it's going to apply itself to everyone. Let's say I only want it on my cube. So there's a couple of ways I can go about this. I can either add a black mask, will hide it from hide the material, and then go over here on the right and click on my polygon fill. Let me bring these, dock them, make it a little bigger. So I have my polygon fill selected. So over here, my properties, this is properties polygon fill. The color, since I'm dealing with a black mask and I want to reveal something, I want the color to be white. And then here, where it says fill mode, I can choose from, uh, let's zoom in a little bit. I can choose doing one triangle at a time, or one quad at a time, or one object at a time, or one UV island at a time. And if you hover over these fill modes, it will tell you what they are in case you forget. So in this case, we'll just click on um, object, and I'm just going to click on this. You'll see now the only one that has that one material is my cube. There's another way of doing it. So let's delete this layer mask. If you right click on the layer mask, you'll get a menu, and I can go and find remove mask here, and it will remove it. So now it's back on everyone, all of the assets. I yesterday I learned of a different way of doing it. If you click on this over here in my layer stack, you see the square here? If you hover on it, it says um, um, it's a mesh mask as opposed to a layer mask. And if you click on it, and then you go and click on the mesh that you don't want the material to be on, and I can click on it here, or I can click on it here. What it will do, so I was clicked here, that's why it was, and it shows the ones that I don't want it on grayed out. If I click back on my layer here, you will see it's only on the cube. Much easier than creating a mask, which I have been doing all this time. Okay, so we have some nice wood on our cube, and let's add some iridescent paint. Okay, so Substance Painter reads the layers from the bottom up. So anything I put on top of the wood is gonna also show in the wood. So if I did it the other way around, you'll see that the wood, yeah, supersedes the card paint. See if I drag it. But in this case, I will only want it on. Oh, it looks really pretty on the disco ball. Let's put it only on the disco ball. So I'm gonna click here. I don't want it on this, I don't want it on this, and I don't want it on this. I'm gonna click on this, and there I have it on my disco ball. And so on and so forth. Let's add some candy stripes to, okay, so I'm gonna put the candy stripes on my pyramid. And again, I'm gonna click on this. Click on it on all the ones I don't want it on. And right now it's kind of large. Click back on the, it's kind of large. So the way I scale it, there's a few ways, but the easiest way is right. If you notice right here with this material selected, we have some um, uh, node points. I don't know what they're called anyway. So if I click on one of them and press Shift, I can drag it and make it smaller. I can also move it around. In this case, it doesn't matter too much, but you can move it around and get it. And then I can rotate it. Okay, so we got some stripes in our pyramid. And let's add some metal. Now, right now, I have it filtered for materials, but it can also further narrow it by typing in a keyword here. And I'm just going to type metal. So now I just get the metals. And I'm gonna put it at the bottom here. Hello. Okay, doesn't want to do. Oh, sorry, my computer is being slow. Okay, what's happening? Okay, my computer hung. I'm gonna do this again. Hopefully it'll work this time. So I'm gonna drag and drop my gold. Now, since I put it at the bottom of the stack, all the other materials are superseding it. If I and there's the little I can turn the materials off. And if you see, if I turn the others off, it's actually applied itself to everything. So again, I can click on my object filter here and then click on all the objects I don't want it on, and then click back to my material and I can show the rest of them. So now we have, even though we have a single material, by using either a layer mask or a mesh mask, I can pick which object I want my particular layer to um, be assigned to. Now, the next thing to look at is if you select each of these materials in your properties, since we have a material select, a fill layer selected, it's going to say property fill. So fill. Pull this out so we can take a closer look and make it bigger. There is a bunch of things that you can change and tweak. First and foremost, if you see on the materials here, you'll see that it says color, metal, rough, normal, and height. Now, what this is saying to Substance Painter is that I want this particular material to influence the color, the roughness, the normal, and the height. The metal, no, because it's not selected. So if I go, remember here, you can click and you can look at specific maps. If I look at my base color, which is influenced by the color map, and remember, I'm sorry, remember it's just the cube. If I turn color off, you see the base map no longer has any information. If I go to my metal map, metallic, there's nothing because metal isn't clicked. If I do click it, it will appear. And same with rough. I can determine whether or not I want this material to add information to the roughness map, and normal, similarly, and height. Now, this is, where the real power of Substance Painter comes, because I can layer different textures and information and have it influence only one of these um, maps, and in this case, they're called channels. Um, and have it influence only one of these channels or all of them. And that's where you can really start getting some very customized and precise end results. Also, each material, when it's created, the whoever makes the material also has a includes a bunch of other parameters that can be. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to dot that. Um, it also includes a number of other parameters that once you've applied the material, you can modify. So here, some of them have, in this case, it's a basic base material, so that actually doesn't have a huge amount of things to change. But you know, in this case, it has the normal format and it's the correct one. Um, Now, in Substance Painter, there's usually two or three different ways of doing things. Remember when I um, made the um, texture smaller by using the anchor points here, or I'm not sure what they're called anyway, using these points? I can similarly, I can, so sorry. Oh, wait, where's my, not this one. I can also do the exact same thing. I'm gonna move this over here so you can see where it says scale, and I can do it here. Or if you have a very precise, if you want to be very precise, you can actually enter a number. And again, I can rotate by grabbing this handle and rotating, or here. And I can move it around either here or here. It just depends. If you're trying to be very precise, this might be a better way of doing it. It's options. There's no right way or wrong way. And um, okay, so it's very important that once you've applied a material, you don't just walk away. Look in the properties of that material and see what else is available to you to change.